This is Chapter 10, 1099 Tracking and Reporting. In this chapter, you will learn who has to complete 1099 tracking and reporting, setting up 1099 contractors, making payments to 1099 contractors, and 1099 year-end reporting. We'll be working in our luxury lodging company file. If you are an employer in the U.S. and you hire an individual or a company who is not incorporated to do work for you, you are required to keep track of payments made throughout the year. At the end of the year, if payments made to an individual or company who is not incorporated are $600 or more, you are required to provide the payee with a 1099 form. In addition, this information must be reported to the IRS by the end of January of the following year. For example, payments made between January 1st, 2021 and December 31st, 2021 must be reported no later than January 31st of 2022. QuickBooks makes it easy to keep track of 1099 contractor payments and complete the reporting requirements. In this chapter, we will show you how to properly set up a 1099 contractor, how to track payments made to those contractors, and how to complete the year-end reporting for 1099 contractors. In QuickBooks, contractors are categorized as vendors. A vendor is anyone you make payments to other than an employee. Therefore, you will add all 1099 contractors as vendors in QuickBooks. Larry has hired Glamorous Gifts to provide customized gift baskets for his guests upon check-in. So we want to open the new vendor window. We're going to click Create, and under our Vendors heading, select Add Vendor. The company name is going to be Glamorous Gifts. Display name is Glamorous Gifts as well. The email, is glamorousgifts@gg.com. Phone number is 817-654-3210. And the address, 123 Glamour Gifts Way. And that is in Austin, Texas. 76063. We're going to scroll down to our payment terms. And this is going to be net 30. The business ID number or social security number, 12-3456789. And we're going to check off track payments for 1099. So this indicates this is a 1099 contractor. Then our default expense account is going to be other business expense. And it tells us that we can add this account to the chart of accounts list if it is not already there. And it is not. I could have sworn we used it, but nope, it's not here. Okay, and we used to be able to add an account right from this drop down, but it doesn't look like it's going to let us. So, excuse me, we're going to have to leave. Click yes, and we need to go to our chart of accounts. We're going to add a new account, and this is going to be named Other Business Expense. Account type is expense. Oh, that's what I was thinking, the detail type. I think that's where other business expense comes up. Yeah. All right, and we'll just save that. And now let's go back in and add that vendor. So we have to retype everything in, unfortunately. Glamorous Gifts. Eight one seven 654 3210. 123 Glamour Gifts Way, Austin, Texas. $76,063. Payment terms net 30. And business ID 12-3456789. Check off track payments for 1099. And now our default expense account, we want the other business expense. All right, we're going to save this to add it to our vendors list. And if you had added a vendor previously and did not mark it as a 1099 vendor, you can go back into the vendor profile to update this info. Follow the steps below to mark Claire Dane as a 1099 vendor. Now, remember, I don't have Claire Dane in my vendors list. As I mentioned before, I don't remember adding her, but let me go in and add her now. Give this a second to load. I'll just do new vendor. Not sure if it shows her information or not. Seems pretty simple. So Claire Dane, I don't think it has any additional information that I can see in the screenshot. So I'll just save her as her name. All right, so now back at her profile page, if you wanted to edit her, if you already had her in as a vendor, you just go back and edit, and you can check off the track payments for 1099. That's all. And save that. All right, easy peasy. Go back to my vendor center. All right, now on page 10-4, making payments to 1099 contractors. After setting up contractors to track 1099 payments for reporting, you can record payments. It's a good idea to set up an account to track all payments made to contractors. Larry already has an expense account called Contractors on the chart of accounts list. We will use this account to record all payments made to contractors. Before we go in here, let's double check that Contractors account is on our chart of accounts. And this should be listed as an expense account. Okay, it doesn't look like we have a contractor's account. We have contract labor. How about we do this? Let's just edit and rename it. All right, so we'll use that. All right, now let's click on our Create button, and under Vendors, we're going to select Bill. Our vendor is going to be Glamorous Gifts. Our bill date is August 2021. It's going to be August 2nd of 2021. Bill number is going to be 78654. California Properties. Our category is going to be Contractors. Let me just start typing it in. There we go. Description, gift baskets for guests. Malibu, Venice, Hollywood. The amount is going to be $650. And we're going to hit our Save and Close button to record this in QuickBooks. Now we're going to record a check that Larry wrote to Claire Dane for some clerical work that she did. We're going to go up to our Create button, and under Vendors, select Check. Our payee is going to be Claire Dane. And we can enter our mailing address below that, which is going to be 765 Wildflower Lane, Dallas, Texas. Seven 66063. Payment date is going to be August 2nd, 2021 for our California properties. Our category is going to be Contractors. Description, payment for clerical work. done for the month of July 2021. And then our amount is going to be $1,000. And we can save and close this payment. So when the payment to Claire Dane is recorded, it makes a journal entry which has a debit to our contractors. So that increases our contractors' expense account by $1,000 with a debit. And it decreases our business checking account by $1,000 credit. So next, now that you understand how to track payments made to 1099 contractors, we will show you how to generate reports that you will provide to contractors and the IRS. Reporting payments made to 1099 contractors consists of printing and mailing 1099 forms to contractors who were paid $600 or more within the calendar year. The 1099 form is similar to a W-2 for an employee. It includes total payments made, which they will need to report on their tax return as income. Failure to produce a 1099 form to contractors and report this information to the IRS could lead to fines and penalties. So we're going to go to our vendor center. And up top next to our Pay Vendors button, we're going to select the drop down and click on Prepare 1099s. So for an additional fee, Intuit will e-file your 1099 forms with the IRS. They will e-deliver 1099s to contractors, or they will print and mail copies of the 1099 forms to your contractors. I'm going to select Prep My Own via QuickBooks. I'm not sure how far we'll be able to get in this because you do need an actual Social Security number. So in the first section, this requires you to review the company information for accuracy. This is the info that was entered when you set up QuickBooks Online in the Setting Up a New Company file chapter. Notice that there's an error message for the tax ID number and also the phone number. The tax ID number is fictitious, which is why the error message appears. We will leave this error for now since we do not have a real tax ID to enter. Let's update the telephone number. I'm going to click on the pencil. I don't even know if it needs a phone number here anymore. I don't believe it does. I'm not sure it's going to take the address though. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to proceed from here because of that Social Security number. But if you just go through your next pages, you would enter the Social Security number and hit Save and Next. And after updating the tax ID field, your screen would resemble the image on page 10-11. And you would click Next to proceed from there. And then that would bring you to your Accounts section where you could categorize payments to contractors or your 1099 vendors. So in this screen, you will select the type of payments you have made to 1099 contractors. The most common type will be non-employee compensation and rents if you rent a commercial space for your business. Here you would select non-employee compensation and select contractors from the drop-down menu as indicated in the image. Then you would hit Next, and it would bring you to the screen on the bottom of page 10-13. Notice the error message of missing information for Claire Dane. You could click on Edit from there, and the following screen would display, which is choosing which of the two contractor types, individual or business. You would select individual, files taxes using a social security number, which is the most common, and then you would complete the fields for Claire's first and last name, the social security number, address, and then you would save from here. So if you have vendors that meet the $600 threshold, they would be listed on the next screen. Because this program is looking at payments made in 2020, there are no payments listed on the screen. However, when you get to January 1st, 2022, payments made in 2021 will be listed. You would then click the Finish Preparing 1099 button, and the last screen on page 10-16 would appear. Your 1099s are ready to file. You could e-file, or you could print and mail. So to summarize, there are two types of 1099 services available through Intuit. The e-file service includes e-filing with the IRS, sending contractors a digital and paper copy of their 1099 form, and payments to contractors can be made via direct deposit. On the other hand, if you prefer to manage the 1099 filing process on your own, you can order a 1099 print kit from Intuit for a one-time fee. With the kit, you are able to print and mail 1099 forms to the IRS, print and mail 1096 summary forms to the IRS, and print and mail 1099 forms to your contractors. So that is it. There are no practice activities for this particular chapter. So our next video will be starting with chapter 11. I'm just going to X out of here and return to my home screen.